Space, the final frontier. This is a review show for Star Trek The Next Generation. Its continuing mission to explore interesting plot points, to seek out goofs and continuity errors, to boldly go where no other TNG review show has gone before. It's Wednesday. It's 8 o'clock. It's the TNG review show. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Mazim Bob.
I am immortalized as Goof Girl now.
You have been immortalized in the credits as Goof Girl. Yeah. Did you like that?
That's funny. My headset's not plugged in.
Oh.
What did you?
Oh dear.
Sorry.
There you go. Still being blinded by the sun, but that's okay. It's a very sunny day today, so I hope you're all having a lovely, had some lovely time in the sun, if you're in the UK, wherever you may be. But yes, here we are, another Wednesday.
Beautiful.
It's been beautiful. How have you been, Mazim Bob?
Yeah, really good. Working hard, so not really taking advantage of the sun, unfortunately. But, it is nice. It's like 22 degrees inside at the moment, so it's getting a bit warm.
Bit warm, especially for wearing like lycra over t-shirts or whatever it is.
Thick polyester.
Polyester.
Not breathable.
Yeah. I see we've got quite a full house online in live chat this evening. I even put live chat in the credits now. You've got your own role.
Yeah.
Hi, Tavona. Good to see you. You were on early, waiting, chomping at the bit there in live chat. I saw. Good evening, Stu Plum. Good evening to you. Good evening, Mickey. Sean. Yes, every back in the academy, we start off every stream with a song. He's going to get it back in my head.
Always with the pogo references.
Always with the pogo. Andrew, good evening to you, sir. And Karen, she's woken up. She's here on a Serenity retreat. Good
and Karen, I don't know if you saw the intro, but it is also starring Chewie as a good boy.
As a good boy. Yeah.
That did make me chuckle.
Yeah. Well, I'm just going to try to just change it up a little
Sean,
bit
we got
every week.
Stu Plum. We've got all sorts of people already.
We have. And I didn't even text Karen to remind her to come on either. She's done this all by herself. So
it's impressive.
Very, very impressive. Very impressive. Yes. And tonight we're here to talk about season 4's episode, Remember Me. I don't know if anybody remembered that from last week. But it's been quite popular chat on Facebook, isn't it? We've got some scores from Facebook and things. So that's quite interesting.
Yeah, we have.
And also, if we have time at the end, well, we will have time, we're going to have a little chat about Elorians. Because Tavona's got a bit of an interest for her graphic novel about the backstory and that of Elorians, which I completely managed to not spell right, I think, at the top. But yeah, we're going to have a little chat about that and see what we know, see what you guys know about Elorians, and get the community together to give Tavona as much information as we can. So, with that bearing that in mind, shall I crack on?
Yes, indeed.
Yes, indeed. Okay.
Got your blood wine, haven't you?
I do have, actually. I do have some blood wine this evening. I've got a Malbec from Mendoza.
I've got a Cabernet Malbec from Australia.
Oh, we're rocking the Malbecs.
Yeah. It is a family favourite.
It is a family favourite. Let us know in chat if anybody else out there has got some blood wine this evening. Let us know if you have what you've got, and if you're not.
Mickey, are you rocking a cider tonight? Magners?
It is. If it's anything in that household, it's a Magners. Yep. Okie dokie. Right. Where is my thing? Let's go. Okay. Remember Me. Episode 5 of season 4. Production number 40274-179. It first aired on the 22nd of October, 1990. And the synopsis goes, following an anomaly in a warp bubble experiment, Dr. Crusher finds that crew members are beginning to disappear. Ooh. But she's the only one that seems to notice. It was written by Lee Sheldon, who's another one of these one-and-done writers for TNG. I think this is the only thing he wrote, whilst I think he produced some episodes in this season. And then he went on to become a video game designer. So that was his career of choice. And it was directed by Cliff Bowl, who we've talked about numerous times. The Bolians were named after him. And this is his 12th of 25 episodes he directed. The last ones being Best of Both Worlds, parts 1 and 2.
Impressive. G-Star's in chat, so we have a moderator, which is great.
Oh, good evening, G-Star. Yes, unfortunately, Smiler Rainbow will be on in a bit. She's just taking the good boy for a walk. So, she'll be back after she's just taken Chewie for a quick walk.
So I think Tavona's drinking Radler. Sean says he lives near the Magners Brewery. Serenity's on Diet Lemonade. Oh, and Sean says it's just as well we took those alcohol inhibitors that Dr. Bashir gave us. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to stand up.
That is true. That is true. Wait a minute. Right. Let me just share.
Time on Star Trek: The Next Generation. A helpless Dr. Crusher watches all her friends and family vanish.
They're all gone?
An unexplained force leads to an invisible massacre.
There are now over 900 missing.
Confusion turns to desperation.
I need you to tell me if I've gone completely mad.
Is it a deadly mind game or a real-life nightmare? On Star Trek: The Next Generation.
I like the way the narrator guy automatically goes to, it was an unknown massacre. Like, Not that they might have disappeared, but they're all dead. They've all been massacred. That made me laugh.
It's a good trailer, though.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's a good one. I like that one.
Stu Plum's on Homebrew IPA.
Oh,
and,
yes.
Sean has a Côte de Rhône.
What's Radler?
Do you know, I knew that once and I can't remember.
Radler. Don't know.
Talia.
Yep.
I'll tell you in a minute.
Right. Come on. Just sorting out my pictures and things, you know.
It's a type of beer.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, like a lemony beer.
Ah.
It's Bavarian beer and lemonade cocktail.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
Nice.
There you go.
There we go. Okay. So that was the trailer. Here's a nice shot of the opening shot of the Enterprise D going into Starbase. We've seen it before. It's the reuse from 11001001.
Yep.
Except for they've got a new green planet in the background. So that's different. A new green planet. It was a reuse from Star Trek 3, the motion picture. We talked about that back then. Okay, so for the teaser.
You noticed it was a flipped image as well, did you?
Yes. It is a flipped image, and I think the Enterprise.
As you see it coming in on the inside, you can see the NCCs all back to front.
Yeah, it is. So in the teaser, we start off with a Chief Medical Officer's log, where we learn that the Enterprise is docking at Starbase 133 for scheduled crew rotation. Dr. Crusher will be welcoming aboard her mentor and dear friend, Dr. Dalen Quaice, who will be travelling with them to his home planet of Kenda 2. Dr. Crusher meets her mentor at the transporter room, transporter room 3, and the two walk the corridors. Dr. Crusher, go on.
So before you move on, that's the first appearance of the redesigned transporter bag.
Oh, yep, sorry, forgot to say that. Yes.
Which remains for the rest of the series and also appears in Star Trek 6.
And this is the very first time we see it in this scene. It had a little, that was how it looked in the in all the episodes leading up to this episode from season 2 onwards. In season 1, it was just white. In season 1, it was just white. Then season 2 and 3, it had these little black outlines on them. And then in season 4, we get this, the bigger, thicker black stripes. And
It makes like little hexagons or something, doesn't it?
Yeah. I have to say, since getting used to Discovery and these like newer Star Treks, this transporter room looks really small now. Transporter pads in the new Star Trek are all a lot bigger. A lot bigger.
Ah.
And I know we've said this before, but just in case we haven't covered it, these lights at the top of the transporter room here are from the original Star Trek, the original series set. I think this is actually the pad that they stood on. This was actually the base, and they flipped it up and put the base of the old transporter pad on the ceiling.
G-Star says the difference is astonishing. It's well worth talking about it. Lol. I think he's being sarcastic.
He's
cheeky bugger.
He's cheeky. Isn't he? Anyway, we'll move on then, shall we? Crusher is sad.
Savannah says he's really built for an old dude. He's got a heroic torso. Interesting take.
And a mustache. So,
yeah,
you know.
yeah. I must say, Ludacris was very impressed with the moustache.
It's a moustache. I like someone put. I've forgotten the Muppets' name now. From the the two.
Yeah.
Wardolph and Stadler. Is it Wardolph?
Yeah,
the one with the mustache.
So funny. That did make me chuckle.
That's quite funny.
Yes. Crusher's sad to hear the passing of Dr. Quase's wife. Since her death, he has decided to retire from Starfleet and return to his home planet. Dr. Crusher can relate because she lost her husband, Jack. Crusher, in engineering, Wesley is finishing experiment with the warp drive. Geordie's getting a bit agitated because he wants his engines back online. Wes says he's almost done, just testing the warp field one more time. Dr. Crusher then comes into engineering to visit her son, but doesn't want to interrupt him in his work. Wes completes his tests, and there's a flash of light. Geordie runs in quick and gets the computer to do a diagnostic, but the computer reports that everything's fine. Wes confirms, though, it wasn't supposed to do that. Wes then notices his mum has gone. He thinks she must have walked away. The Enterprise leaves the space dock. These pictures are coming in like I've got a dial-up modem. There's a great picture, though, I think, of the Enterprise leaving. I like that shot. That's good. It's a good picture.
Nice.
Yeah. Bev did indeed leave engineering, though, and she's gone to check on her old friend. But question time. What was the name of her mentor and friend? I have said it in this build-up a couple of times, so hopefully it should be quite an easy first question. Was it A, Dr. Quincy, B, Dr. Quaint, C, Dr. Quace, D, Doctor Who, or E, none of the above? Oh yes, all of the answers this week all have a none of the above option. I've brought that back.
Oh no, you're doing a G-star on us.
Due to no popular demand at all. I've brought it back anyway.
You were the one that didn't like it, so I know, it's okay when you're the one that's asking
I hate the none of the above thing. No, but I figured as I'm asking the questions, actually I don't mind.
Sean's pointed out that this guy was in Home Alone, apparently.
Was he a neighbour or something?
Which I hadn't clocked. He's the guy that refuses to sell them a ticket or something so that they can get back.
Ah, the bastard.
I mean, I'm assuming that's correct. I would try and look it up, but honestly, this guy has got such an insanely long filmography. I just can't find it in all the chaos. It's like actor 250 credits as an actor. So
was that G-Star trying to put the answer, trying to put the question into? Do you want me to do what? No, I can't. I'm not going to do that. I think he might have been trying to do.
Kaz says, "What about Dr. Dre? We didn't have him in there."
Dr. Dre, or F, dropped Dr. Dre. No, Dr. Dre, no. So she rings a doorbell, but there's no answer, so she fears for his safety. With him being an old man, she overrides the door and finds that his quarters are empty. She asks the computer for his location, but he's not on the Enterprise. Where could he have gone?
Dum dum dum.
That was the end of the teaser. So we talked about the transporter. We talked about the flying into space dock. Were there any other
one or two
little things from the teaser?
Yeah, just two more little points. So one was the fact that this story was originally going to be a subplot in Family, and then in which crew members disappeared due to a wormhole, but they felt there wasn't enough room for both plots, and so they developed this as a separate story. And also, in fact, no, two more things. The title, I mean, this is probably more a coincidence than anything, but the title "Remember Me" was actually the last line of the unused credits for the Star Trek 66 theme song.
Oh.
So the theme song, although it's an instrumental, there are unused lyrics, and apparently the last words were "Remember Me." And also, apparently in Germany, this episode was retitled as "The Experiment."
Oh.
No idea why.
Maybe it just didn't translate satisfactorily.
Yeah. Could be.
I think Tavona might be having trouble in chat.
Didn't mean to type that. That's fine. Just like leaning on your keyboard or something.
Oh, I
right?
do that all the time. Yes. Well, that was the end. So back to the answers for the question 1. What was the name of her mentor and friend?
I haven't put in my answer yet.
Oh,
but I do
go
know
on
it,
then,
I do know
quickly,
it, I do
quickly.
know it. It's an easy one. I've got Stu Plum, Kaz. I'll put mine in now. So,
Hopefully everybody's answered.
Tavona says C, Andrew C, Sean B, Stu C, Mickey C, Kaz C, G-Star C, and Mia C.
So Sean was the rebel.
Sean was a rebel.
But
I meant for what was 2? What was number 2?
Dr. Quaint.
Ah, yes, that was it.
Close. Very close. But it was C, Dr. Quace.
And that's 20 points for the first round, right?
20 points. Don't worry, Sean. There's still plenty of time. Plenty of points on offer.
Plenty.
Planta.
So that's 20 points for everybody except for Sean.
Yeah. So on with Act 1. Oh, Quaid. Sorry. No, it's Quaid. I said quaint, but it's my accent. It's my terrible southwest, terrible southwest accent. Okay, so Beverly calls Worf and tells him about the missing person. Worf is surprised as he doesn't know he was aboard. Worf thinks it's strange, as even his belongings are missing. They report their findings to Picard in his ready room. They have searched the entire ship, but they can't find no sign of him. They decide to check the transporter's logs to see if he beamed back to the starbase. But before they go, Picard reminds the Doctor on protocols for having people beam aboard. Bev's like, I don't know why Worf wasn't informed. But Picard's like, I wasn't informed. The Doctor thinks that's strange, as she submitted the request weeks ago.
And he approved it.
And he must have approved it, yeah. Slight change to the bridge here from this shot. The Enterprise picture on the side there is a lot brighter yellow than it used to be. It used to be really faint. You could hardly see it. It's now...
Is that as in remastered, or is that as in like the props?
A prop. They
series?
changed it. Yeah, they changed the panel for this season. Put a big brighter light behind it or something. But yeah, it's a lot brighter and yellower than it used to be. Looks pretty good. They go to the bridge. Data reports that Starbase has no record of a Dr. Quace. There's no one of that name registered with Starfleet at all. So, question 2. What was the designation of the Starbase where they picked up Dr. Quace? Was it A? I'm vibrating a little bit off your headset for some reason, Naz. I don't know why. Was it A, Starbase 111? B, Starbase 101? C, Starbase 113? D, Starbase 133? Or E, none of the above? So we're looking for Starbase 111, 101, 113, 133, or none of the above. A, B, C, D, or E. In the chats.
I just want to point out some of the earlier chat. Sean was saying that he also likes homebrew and says that the homebrew wine from the range is really good. I don't know, Stu Plum, if you get that one, but I have a range headquarters right behind my house, so I can always go pick you up some if you want some. Just let me know.
That's true. The global range headquarters is right behind Mazam Bob's house.
I took my Ukrainian guest there the other day. We were literally on a walk. I said, I'll just show you what's in there. And then, yeah, they didn't leave for about an hour and a half.
The range is like that, isn't it? You can just get sort of absorbed in it. Yeah. You come out with like art supplies and dog biscuits. You're like, and a potted plant. You're like, I don't know how I ended up with all this stuff.
Funny.
Right. In fact, Data cannot find anyone with that name ever existing ever. He's tried 173 phonetic variations without success. Can you imagine trying 173 phonetic variations of Dr. Quace? I don't know how you get 173 phonetic variations out of that number of sounds.
Well, it's like he's called Dalen as well, though. I mean, that could go multiple ways, multiple L's and N's, Y's, I's, E's. Yeah, you could have quite a few, I think.
173, though. 173.
It is impressive.
Yeah. Bear with me. I'm just going to move my windows around a little bit because I want to bring the text chat. It's in the wrong place and I can't see. Oh, don't be like that. Right, there we go. Hopefully it's not disturbed anything.
Tafona says that the chairs that they're sat on, I mean, you're basically just looking at Data's butt again, right? But Tafona says that chair looks really comfy for your bum, but not for your back.
It's her favourite pastime.
Staring at Data's butt.
It's the thing she likes to do. So, I'm just now filling time just to give her more data. That's, yeah. Worf arrives on the bridge to say that they've completed their search and he's not aboard. Beverly says, but she picked him up herself from Transport Room 3. Riker asks who was on duty, and so they head down to talk to O'Brien, who tells them he has no knowledge of beaming the Doctor on board. He does remember Dr. Crusher coming in, standing there for a bit, and then leaving by herself.
I found that bit so funny.
Yeah.
She just walked in, stood there, left.
Yeah. You're very welcome, Tavona. It's our service to you. Yeah. So yeah, it was quite funny, and that's the end of Act 1. Do you have any other any goofs or trivs?
Not really specifically at this point, no. Although, people are doing, math to see if the Starbase number was any kind of like hidden 47 reference. There is one hidden 47 reference, but that's a bit later. But no, I don't think so.
Okay, so hopefully everybody's got their answers. And did you put your answer in chat, Maz and McBob?
I did indeed. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 answers. We're missing 2.
Ooh.
Mickey.
Well, you're not going to get any points.
Mickey Andrew.
Hello.
Andrew Mickey.
By the looks of it, you got to put a C or a D.
Oh, they both put them in now.
There we go.
Yay.
Okay. So the answer is E. None of the... No, it's not. No, it's not. It's D. 1, 3, 3.
1, 3,
1, 3, 3.
That's one of the ones that we guessed earlier. I was guessing with my younger Ukrainian guest what the questions might be, and that's one of the ones we thought it might be.
I mean, C was a pretty good guess because it's same numbers, just a
Andrew,
1 and a
Mickey
3.
and Sean, unfortunately, got it wrong. The other 4 people got it right.
Still, loads more points.
Yeah.
Okay. Act 2 then. Let's get the next picture. Crusher and Riker are in the turbo lift, heading back to the bridge. The Doc can't believe that O'Brien would lie about something like that. But Riker points out that no, O'Brien believed what he was saying. She thinks it might be a good idea to run a medical on O'Brien though to make sure he wasn't tampered with. And Riker goes to look at the replicator logs. Because if he's going to survive on the Enterprise, he's going to need some food and water at some point. Sean reckons he's going to Alan Davies this quiz. He doesn't want to get the awooga. I don't know if you ever watch QI.
I don't watch that, no. Sorry.
Yeah. He's just going to keep answering, well... There's a thing where he just keeps answering, what's the biggest living creature on Earth?
Blue whale.
Awooga. No, it's a mushroom in Canada. where there's one, like, literally it's one organism, this mushroom, and it covers an entire forest floor. But it's actually just one plant, one creature. So, there you go. Anyway, right. In sickbay, O'Brien is waiting for the doctor to arrive. She assures him it won't take long. She summons 2 of her fellow doctors, but they don't report in. She asks the computer where they are, and it reports that they're not on the Enterprise either. But question 3, what are the names of the 2 doctors that Dr. Crusher summons?
I know this as well. Like, I know these things off the top of my head. I don't even have to check my notes. It's amazing.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Is it A, Dr. Moreau and Dr. Strange? Is it B, Dr. Moriarty and Dr. Dixon? Is it C, Dr. Hill and Dr. Salar? Or is it D, Dr. Chapel and Dr. Salar? Or E, none of the above? Moreau and Strange, Moriarty and Dixon, Hill and Salar, Chapel and Salar, or none of the above? A, B, C, D, E.
Sean says Dr. Blue and Dr. Whale.
Very good.
Funny.
Very good. I like it.
And
I like
Tabana says, has anyone ever thought that O'Brien's face looks like a live cartoon? He has got a bit of a funny face, I'll give you that.
It's a bit like Mr. Potato Man. Mr. Potato Head came to life and became a human. Became a real boy. And sorry, Miles. Sorry. Yeah.
Funny. And Andrew says maybe it was Dr. House and Doctor Who.
It might have been. It might
There's
have
a lot
been.
of doctors in your questions tonight, Monty Bam.
Yeah. There's a bit of a doctor theme in this episode, really. Beverly reports this to Picard, and even their own families do not remember them. Like O'Brien doesn't remember Dr. Quace. Wes contacts from engineering that they have found something, and it might relate to Dr. Quace's disappearance. On the way, Picard orders Worf to run a level 1 diagnostic on internal sensors and run a manual sweep of readings because he wants answers. Worf looks like, why me? Why are you picking on me? I don't know if you noticed that after he gave him those orders, he was like, his shoulders shrunk and he was like, oh God, a level 1 diagnostic.
No, I didn't notice.
In engineering, Wes tells Picard about his experiment, shows them the static warp that they created in the warp drive. The model shows it exploding outwards. Picard asks if someone got caught in it, would they disappear, and Wes confirms that would indeed be possible. Picard asks if Quace was in engineering when it happened, and he wasn't, and he asks if the bubble expanded beyond engineering, which it didn't. He also doesn't think warp bubbles could alter memories or computer records, but tells them to keep working on it because at the moment, this is their only theory. Hello?
Sean says Brian looks a little bit like his dad, more the hair than anything.
Oh, right. Oh, this picture doesn't want to load in, does it?
Doesn't want to load.
Oh, there we go. Crusher then swings by sickbay to find out she no longer has any staff whatsoever. Nurses, no one. She reports this to the bridge, but Data confirms the fact that she doesn't have any staff. She thinks that's ridiculous for a ship with over 1,000 crew, but Data tells her the crew complement is 230. Yeah. Picard takes her to his ready room for a nice cup of tea, but she doesn't want any. He's like, so you're saying we have lost over 800 crewmen? She's like, I know how it sounds. I ran a medical on myself, and being the only doctor on board, I had to do it myself. And aside from an increase in adrenaline, the test results came back fine. She says she will go talk to Troy But before she leaves, she implores the captain to return the ship to Starbase 133. He agrees and orders Mr. Riker to change course. I thought it was interesting how he referred to when he went over comms to talk to Riker to change course. He called him Mr. Riker. He doesn't often call him Mr. Riker.
And there was an incorrect goof I found online, which said at the point where he calls for him, he taps his pad and there's no beeps. But I don't think he does. I think he actually puts his cup of Earl Grey tea down, which is why there are no beeps. Because he was holding it in his hand and then you just hear like a little clunk. I think he was just putting his cup down.
Right.
But can you go back to the last picture?
Yeah.
Sean said, I don't know how to tell you this, but your ceiling is hideous. Is that like a reference to those like bars across the top? I'm not quite sure.
Maybe he's talking about your ceiling.
Oh, my ceiling, maybe.
I don't know.
Tavona says she was impressed by how seriously they took Crusher. And in fact, in this scene here, like, you know, Picard sort of says, you know, I've got no choice but to take you seriously because, I mean, there's no risk in them doing what she wants, if you know what I mean. It's not like she's saying, trust me, we have to self-destruct the ship or something. She's just saying, trust me, there's something wrong. So they're erring on the side of caution. But yeah, I mean, she must seem absolutely crazy.
Maybe Sean points out that they're calling Mr. as a Navy thing. Yeah, I mean, they and it's for lower ranked officers. Right, I see. So like in Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, Kirk calls Savick Mr. Savick because she's a junior officer. But, yeah.
It's the same way as in the Navy. I mean, there was this whole thing on Facebook earlier about this, but calling senior female people in the Navy sir is just, it's like a non-gendered thing. It's sir and Mr. They just see it as a rank-based thing, not a gendered-based thing.
Oh, Sean said the ceiling thing was a quote from Voyager when Neelix lost his lung.
Loses his lungs and he's staring up at the ceiling. I get you now. It was a little bit left field for me.
Yeah, it was a little bit like...
I didn't quite follow the thread.
Yeah. Sean's got like a encyclopedic knowledge of Star Trek quotes.
You have, but then you're not getting the blinking questions right.
No.
I think you need to study up more specifically on the episode we're reviewing each week, right?
Talking about seeing ceilings, we can actually see the ceiling of the studio in this scene here. You can see the top of the set. And you can see the lights coming from like the corridor set on the other side of the wall, creeping out.
Interesting.
Yeah, because they look at quite a severe angle.
Did you know Gates did all her own stunts in this episode?
Well, she's just using her. She wanted to use her dancing. But yeah, I guess she did some wire work when she got pulled in sideways.
Well, the one where she's, you know, like where she's hanging off the chair, they actually stuck the chair to a wall, so she was just sort of hanging down off it. And then they applied like wind effects. But then she took like quite a big sort of tumble across the bridge into like Data's console at one point. And it was only shortly after that Gates found out she was pregnant.
Oh my
So
God.
it's like, oh, what have I been doing? But yeah, I mean, obviously as an actress, she's been, I mean, we've mentioned this in the last 3 or 4 episodes, she's been crying out for more action and obviously has got it in this. But yeah, I thought it was pretty good. I mean, like you say, she's quite physically nimble, so she's able to do some of that kind of stuff, which is pretty cool.
She did the choreography on Labyrinth puppets with David Bowie. Yeah. Under her real name of Cheryl.
She's a really good choreographer, yeah.
Very cool. Very cool.
Multi-talented lady, for sure.
And we also didn't get Tavona's Tuesday reference from Star Trek Generations.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah.
Sorry.
Like, where's this? Where's that? Oh, sorry, they're not coming to Tuesday.
It's arriving on Tuesday on the Enterprise B. Yeah. Very good. Very good.
Sorry.
Oh, we like being kept on our toes, don't we?
We do.
Yeah.
Keep them coming.
Keep them coming. Yeah. Where was I? Oh yeah, Dr. Crusher returns to sickbay and attempts to work, but is distracted by a series of blue flashes and a strange noise. Before her eyes, a vortex forms. It creates a powerful vacuum. The vacuum gains strength and sucks objects from all over the room until even Crusher begins to be pulled forward against her will. She narrowly avoids being pulled in by holding on to the sickbay's large replicator. The vortex collapses, leaving her astonished and shaken. For some reason in this episode we see that the top panel's lights off the whole episode and the bottom light's on, but in this one scene the top light's on and the bottom light's off. Don't know why.
Hi to Smiler Rainbow, by the way.
Hello, Smiler Rainbow. She's back with Chewie. I heard him barking a minute ago, so I figured he was back. And that's the end of Act 2. So have we got any other goofs and trivias, Goof Girl?
Yeah, a few little bits. It's kind of actually harking back to the beginning, but a few people commented about it on Facebook about the fact that sometimes the science officers, their uniforms are slightly different colors. Sometimes they got like a greeny hue and sometimes they're on more blue. And in this, Dalen Quase's was definitely a greener hue. And we've seen Beverly wearing a green one before, like for when they're doing blue screen visual effects, specifically at Tasha Yar's funeral. It was insanely green. Because and even the stripe on Wesley's uniform at that time, he had the 3 different stripes, and they turned that green as well, so that it wouldn't, superimpose. But in this one, Quace is green, but like you say, they have touched it up a bit. They've made it a bit bluer for the digitization.
You can just see that they didn't quite match the colours quite right. They're just slightly different, but.
The original did look greener, that's for sure. Also, so has everybody answered yet? We've got how many answers? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 answers? Who's not answered? Mickey again? Mickey. Anyway, I might give it away, but
I think Mickey did a bit higher up. Possibly, did he? No, that was the end of the last one.
Yeah. But the male doctor who she called out for, there was actually a deleted scene where she talked to his wife Cara to say, "Where's your husband?" And the wife completely couldn't remember her own husband. I don't know why they deleted that scene, but it would have been quite a cool thing to actually, it's not just on the ship, to have reached outside of the ship and found somebody, even far away. Oh, in fact, it didn't actually say she was far away. She might have been on the ship, might she? But yeah, so that was a deleted scene. A few other bits and bobs. So you see she's wearing a lab coat. When she first gets swallowed by the warp bubble, she doesn't have a lab coat on. And when she comes out at the other end, she does. So she basically takes this alternate reality lab coat with her back into her normal reality, which probably then means she's got a spare. I just thought it's quite an interesting thing that she's managed to take a physical object from this warp bubble universe into her normal universe.
Good evening, Jedi Dick Sensei. Good evening.
Hiya.
Andrew's losing connection. Oh no, Andrew, that's not good. That's not a good sign. We don't want that. But as long as nobody else is reporting that sort of thing, then you could try clicking on the cog and turning it down to like 720 or 480p. That might help you if you're in a bad connection area or something. But yeah, let us know if you're having problems out there. Yes. Right, answers.
And the final bit is the vortex in sickbay. So you see all these papers flying around everywhere, which, as you know, they don't use paper in this century, even though in the last episode there was paper in sickbay because somebody had left their script on the side.
So maybe that's what it was. Maybe the script
somebody's script went flying.
Got blown off the side.
Nice.
Yeah. Very good. Very good. So the answers then. Was the missing doctors, was it Moreau, Strange, Moriarty, Dixon, Hill, Solar, Chapel, Solar, or none of the above?
We got C's, E's, C's, and a B.
It was C, Dr. Hill and Dr. Salar.
And it was Dr. Richard Hill's wife, Cara, that I just mentioned from the deleted scene. Cool. I'll figure out the points. You can carry on in the meantime. What's Sean saying now?
Well, he's just good advice saying drop from 1080 down to 720. If you're having issues, you will have less issues with less penis. Penis.
Funny.
Okay. Act 3. Oh, you've gone on the wrong one. Don't go in that one. Go over that one. There we go. Maybe if I close some of these tabs that we don't need now. That probably doesn't help, does it? Doesn't help if I've got like a million tabs open. The senior staff meeting in the observation lounge. Geordie can't find any evidence of the vortex in sickbay. Data can't find any issues with the computer. And no other local ships are reporting any problems. Crusher asks Data how many are on board now, and Data tells her there's a full complement of 114 people. She thinks that this is crazy. Why would they have so much space on the Enterprise for 114 people? Data replies, well, you've got to carry refugees, diplomatic missions. Picard's like, thank you, Data. Cuts him off. That's normal. Standard practice. But Picard does decide to confine any off-duty personnel to their quarters just to be on the safe side. Crusher asks Picard to assign Worf to monitor internal sensors to see if there any evidence of the vortex can be found. But Picard's like, Worf? Worf who? Crusher's like, the big guy. Never smiles. Klingon, head of security. And they all look at her like she's mad.
It's a great line. The big guy who never smiles. The Klingon! They're like, a Klingon? We haven't had a Klingon on this ship?
Yeah.
Funny.
After the meeting, the doc catches Deanna and she asks her if she's going mad. Deanna doesn't think so. She tells her she's acting in the best interests of her crew. She suddenly thinks of Wesley. Wesley! And she goes off to look for him in engineering.
The way that Deanna looks nonplussed at the point when she says Wesley makes you think that Wesley's disappeared instead of, no, I know Wesley, he's fine. You know.
Why would you want to see if your son's all right? Very strange.
By the way, I did tot up the scores. So at the moment, we've got Stu Plum, Kaz, and myself are all in the lead with 120. Then we've got Tavona with 60, and then Mick, G-Star, Andrew on 20 or 0.
Yeah. I think we might have lost Sean. Not Sean. I think we might have lost Andrew.
I think we might have lost G-Star as well, to be fair.
Probably. For one moment, it looks like Wesley's disappeared because she calls him out his name and there's no one in engineering. But then he comes forward from, I don't know, some nook and cranny that he was hiding in. It looks like he's skeptical, though, that his experiment had something to do with it. The only person who could help them now would be the Traveller, but he doesn't know how to reach him. They decide to go to Picard to see if he can help them find him. But leaving engineering, though, they walk around the corner and Wesley disappears. Dun, 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 dun. It's quite chilling how it happens. They're just sort of walking and talking, and as they round the corner, he's just gone. You expect to see him come round and just gone. There's a shot of the engineering corridor we don't usually see as well. Anyway, question number 4. Who wants a question? Does anybody want a question?
Yeah, let's have a question.
Let's have a question.
An 80-pointer.
An 80-pointer question. She goes to the bridge now, and what does she find on the bridge? Does she find A, Picard in his Speedos and a bottle of Dom Perignon? B, the Traveller? C, only Picard and Riker remaining? Or D, only Data? Or E, none of the above?
Wow. bet Kaz is there thinking, A, please let it be A.
So what does she find on the bridge? Picard in his Speedos and a bottle of Dom Perignon. The Traveller. Only Picard and Riker remaining. Only Data. Or none of the above. A, B, C, D, or E. Now,
anybody in chat drank Dom Perignon? It's on my bucket list. I still haven't got around to it yet, though. I want to know if it's worth the hype. Sean says E as in bluey whaley.
Bluey whaley. Can you speak whale?
Blue
whale.
What is that on?
Finding Nemo is Dory, isn't it? She says she can speak whale.
That's it.
Yeah. I need to find.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, funny.
Fish. Yeah, I've got to kind of wait for all the answers to come in, because the next bit
I can
and
fill
picture
if you want.
really we have to go the answer straight away.
That's all right, because I can fill. So apparently the choice to add the Traveller was quite a last minute thing.
Huh.
And apparently it's because he's really big at the conventions, and they knew he was like super popular. So yeah, they in their first draft, they sort of, it was like almost like a dream episode sort of thing, but they didn't find it very satisfying. So they tried to bring it into like the warp bubble and talk about how to get it back and make it more of a rescue mission. But so they'd been looking for like excuses to bring him back, and then it kind of popped into their heads. But it was apparently quite a last minute thing. And his makeup was quite different. It was quite a lot. They said it was paler, but I thought he had like this real sort of silvery sheen, which looked a little bit unusual. And I can't remember if we talked about this before, but the guy who plays the Traveller apparently originally auditioned for the role of Data, only to be beaten out by Brent Spiner.
Oh, right. I can't remember mentioning that before.
I don't remember that from before either. We talked about Gates McFadden doing all of her own stunts. I think that's about as much filler as I have for now.
I think we do hear from the Traveller again. Sean says we never hear of the Traveller again, but I think we do.
Don't we, in that one where he's like...
he takes Wesley away, doesn't he?
Marquee. They're like a marquee settlement, and he's masquerading as this Indian-looking guy or something. But yeah, it's when Wesley leaves, isn't it?
When Wesley leaves, I'm pretty sure he turns up to whisk him away or something like that. I might be wrong on that, but he's definitely referenced a number of times.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, right. Answers then. Here we
Oh,
go.
I haven't put my answer in. I'm quickly doing it. I'm doing it. I've done it now. Has anybody not done their answer? We got 1, 2, 3. I don't get Mickey's answer. He says Picard and the D.
Dom Perignon, I think.
It's Dom Perignon.
I don't know.
And me. Somebody hasn't answered, but I'm not sure who. Andrew. Oh, Andrew. I think we've lost Andrew.
I think we have lost Andrew.
Okay, we'll just have to go with who we've got.
Yeah. Okay, so the answer...
Tavona. Nothing from Tavona.
Tavona. No, we've lost Tavona as well. Oh,
no. Go on then. Tell us.
Okay, so the answer is... I really wish for Karen it was A, but it's not. It is none of the above.
Yay!
It is just Picard on the bridge. And here he is. But unfortunately not in his Speedos. Karen. Yeah.
Sean got it right. Stuplum got it right. I'm not quite sure what Mickey's answer was. Kaz got it right. We'll wait for Mickey to come back. I guess he answered A. So
I
probably doesn't
think
get any points.
Picard and the D sounds
Yeah.
A-ish.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Okay, so the doctor's like, wow, you don't remember any of them. Picard's about to protest that he has been very, very patient with her, but Beverly continues. Will Riker loves to cook, play poker, and trombone. Never heard of him. Data, android, sits at ops, wants to be a real boy. Are you having a laugh? Troy, counsellor, loves chocolate, and the arrival of her mother makes you shudder. We are arriving at Starbase 133 very soon. O'Brien, Geordie, Worf, Wesley, my son, the living, breathing heart of the ship. They deserve more than to be shrugged off like they never existed. Maybe you should confine yourself to sick bay. Oh, this just seems logical to you then, does it? That the two of us roam the galaxy in the Federation flagship with no crew whatsoever? Well, we've never needed one before. So that was a summary of their conversation, which I just thought was quite funny.
In response to my Dom Perignon question, Sean's saying that, you can get champagne equivalents in the south of England now, which, yes, we know there's a place, Camel Valley, quite close to us, where they make Cornwall, because they can't call it champagne because it's not in the Champagne region, but it's a champagne very similar sparkling wine made in exactly the same way, and it's rather lovely.
A nice bottle of Cornwall.
I do like it.
Yeah. She finally asks him...
And Sean said they've changed the bulb back since last week's blue alert.
That's right, yeah. It was a red alert this week. It was a red alert. Everything was red, as it should be. Yeah. Finally, she asks him to at least allow the computer to monitor his life signs until he disappears. He agrees and gets the computer to read out the results. They sit at the command chairs, and she apologizes, and so does he. She says she might not get another chance to say this, and as she says that, Picard disappears in a blink of an eye. It's quite haunting, really, how he just goes pop, and the computer just stops talking. Yeah. Anyway, Picard disappears, leaving her alone on the ship.
Somebody in Facebook was saying they get like total goosebumps at that point in time.
Yeah, it's very cool. It's very well done. She only just looks down, just like the briefest of looks away. Boing, gone.
And it's because you've got like the monotonous in the background heartbeat of blood pressure rate, and then it just stops.
Yeah. Anyway, his leaving leaves her alone on the ship by herself. Alone with nobody else around. Miles from anywhere. Alone in a ship of one. All alone. Sorry, I don't know what I'm going on about.
For the benefit of Sean's phonetics, where I think he's trying to write Cornish accent, I will read it out. Who are they? Do make good wine. It's put me off me scrumpy.
Yeah, we do like our scrumpy as well. That is true. That is true. Yeah. Then the vortex thing opens up again and tries to suck her in. She manages to grab Data's chair. That saves her, apparently. Or does it? For this time we find out that it is Wesley and Geordie causing the vortex of doom. And it is them that's trying to save her. I think it's a pretty sturdy chair, considering that chair is like a swinging chair that can be swung around on.
That's because it's attached to a wall, as we now know. You can almost sort of see the line of where it's superimposed at the back of it, really. It's sort of, it's like this sort of a line where her fingers are.
Yeah.
Where they've had to go a little bit beyond the chair because that's where her fingers are. They couldn't cut it off quite cleanly.
Cool.
Sean says the spookiness reminds him of Doctor Who when the angels delete Rory via the crack in time. I mean, this might give people goosebumps, but I don't think it's angels worthy. I mean, that's just terrifying, right?
I wonder what happened to Andrew and Devona. I wonder why they had to disappear. It's a shame. It's a shame. Maybe we won't talk about Alorians this week. Maybe
we'll save it to
we'll roll it over to next week. Yeah. Anyway, that was the... Oh, yep, sorry. Here we go. We're in engineering now. As they fail, Wes thinks it's over. He can't get his mum back. They've been trying for ages, but she's stuck in a warp bubble. But then the Traveller appears and tells him it isn't over yet. And that is the end of Act number 3. Oh, we've had the question. So, is there any goofs?
I don't know. I probably used up a lot of them when I was filling for you. Most of mine now are pretty much near the end. Yeah. I will say on the scores front, we've got Sean's actually, considering he got the first couple of questions wrong, has caught up quite well. But we've got Stu, Kaz, and Maz still on 200 points apiece. And then we've got Sean now quite close behind at 140.
Very cool. Very cool. Right, Act 4 then. Oh, what's just happened? Stop. Windows 10, you move some windows around and suddenly it just decides to make all the windows on the screen go in different directions. Right, in the captain's log in Act 4, we learn that 2 attempts to retrieve Dr. Crusher have failed. It is revealed that she is actually the one who has disappeared into a parallel universe. In the observation lounge, the Traveller is addressing the senior staff. He tells them that as long as she thinks she's alive, she will be alive. Deanna asks him if he can go in and get her out, but the Traveller says, no, I can't enter that reality any more than I can enter her thoughts. The Traveller informs Wesley that he is the only one in the crew that can help him return his mother back to her proper reality. Back in the bubble, Beverly is applying diagnostic methodology to the situation and trying to work out what is wrong and how to treat the wrongness. She asks the computer for the crew roster, which only contains Beverly Crusher. She asks the computer if this is the only Enterprise in service. The computer confirms that there are 5 Enterprises that have entered service. This is the only one currently in service. That's not quite right, is it? Because with Enterprise... the series coming along, that makes this Enterprise actually the 6th Enterprise. There's this one, 1701, A, B, C, and D, 6. But of course, Enterprise wasn't a thing. Didn't exist back then. Crusher is then like...
Continuity goof.
Yeah. Crusher's then like, riddle me this, computer. Do I have the skills to complete the Enterprise's primary mission? The computer says no. Then why am I the only person on board? The computer says no again with some no beeps.
Well, this is it. It's like, it's quite funny because I was watching it with subtitles on because of my guests. And then it's like, it says something like stressed out beeps. Or
stressed
something.
out beeps. Yeah.
I just thought it's really funny how they're trying to, make those little beeps convey some kind of confusion or panic because it can't answer the question. Sean mentioned with the one where she's hanging off the chair, how you can see the straps that are used to like make their trousers look like they're nice and stiff and straight by strapping on. A bit like when I was a kid, they used to have something called Ron Hill trousers, and those kind of strapped around your foot with like little elastic bits. And nice reuse of chairs from 10 forward. That must have been on the last picture.
Is that on the last picture? Oh yeah, in her office. The same chairs.
Bloody good spot there, Sean.
Yeah.
I guess you could argue it's just their standard chair that you use all over the ship.
Of course. Yeah. Nice spot though. Well done. Yeah, very cool. Okay, question number 5.
Ooh.
She goes to the bridge and sets course for Tau Alpha C, the home of the Traveller. But the computer says it will take how long to get there at warp 9.5? Will it take 123 days, 321 days, 111 days, 222 days, 333 days, or none of the above? Yeah, there's an F. There's an F.
Well, that was 6. Oh my God.
Yeah, A, B, C, D, E, or F. 123, 321, 111, 222, or 333, or none of the above. A, B, C, D, E, or F. So, yeah, let us know what you think. Wow, how long? Well done. Well done, Smiler Rainbow. You've done very well.
That was very quick.
That was very quick. She's really good at this now.
Oh, Sophia. Hi.
Hiya, Sophia. Good evening to you. Right, so she is like, fine, make it so. Let's get on with it. Let's find the traveller. But the computer doesn't seem to do anything. Just sits there. So she checks with the computer. She's like, have we gone anywhere? And the computer's like, where do you want to go? She's like, Tau Alpha C. Now the computer says Tau Alpha C doesn't exist on any star map. Silly computer. Back on the actual Enterprise. The Enterprise is returning to Starbase 133 to the exact location the bubble formed. In engineering, the traveller's teaching Wes about time and space and tells him he has to see past the numbers and open his mind. They give it a go at the pool table, but Wes doesn't think he can do it.
You have to see past my fat fingers and...
Yeah. Yeah. In the warp bubble, Beverly enables the view screen to see the whole universe has disappeared. Bit of a bummer. She concludes that there is nothing wrong with herself, so there must be something wrong with the universe. That's
Such a classic line.
That's what we think every morning, isn't it?
It's just brilliant.
She asks the computer to define the universe, and the computer says it's spherical, about 705 meters in diameter. That wasn't the right answer. Oh, there we go. Back in normal space, the big Enterprise, the Big E, has returned to Starbase 133, and Wesley, with the time traveler's assistance, has succeeded in finding the warp bubble by seeing beyond the numbers. However, the traveller is disconcerted because the warp bubble has begun to collapse. They must rescue Dr. Crusher at the right moment, or she will most certainly die. Dun 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 dun. End of Act 4.
I thought you already did Act 4.
No,
Golly.
that was end of Act 4.
Have we got 5 questions? Oh, right. Because we had...
Yeah, there's always 6 questions.
One of the teaser, yeah. That's all right. I'm with it.
You're with it.
Sean says, I hear the traveller has a beautiful wife. Do you mean like the actor? I don't know. Beautiful wife, beautiful life? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Doesn't say anything about his bio on IMDb. Could neither confirm nor deny.
Any other continuity things or?
It's like most of it's right towards the end, so I'm a little bit conscious of spoilers. But there are some goofs where it talks about boom mic being seen visible twice in succession, and I looked and looked for it. Could I find it? Could I hell? So I think it must have been corrected. It's at the bit where she's sort of like looking at the warp bubble and stuff and got it visualized on the screen. It was supposed to be that the boom mic was available. It was visible from like some reflections behind her and stuff, but I could not find it. But yeah, I think that's the only one that is current. Oh, an observation that Voyager episode Projections is a very similar plot device in which the Doctor finds himself alone. Again, a Doctor as well. Got to figure out why everybody's disappeared from the ship. And I think that's it. Yeah. That's all I can add at this time.
I can't explain the joke further in more detail. It's in reference to this photo.
Oh, I guess maybe it's to do with the size of his fingers. Sean, you're being so gross.
Oh, that's...
I'm guessing. I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know.
Okay, so answers to question 5. Was it 123, 321, 111, 222, or 333, or none of the above? What have people said then? What have we got? I've got some answers in.
We have Stu Plum says A, I say A, Sean says C, Serenity says A. So we only have 4 answers.
It's not
Got 4
really
players left.
It's not really Sean's night, is it? Though it's got to be said.
Aww.
Sorry, Sean.
Sorry, Sean. You were catching there on the last
He's
two
got
questions.
all the information, just not the answers to these questions. Oh, Mickey's just come in with an A before I before I gave the answer.
Mickey.
So he's just warped in there. Warp factor 9.
Where have you
9.9.
been, Mickey?
Yeah.
You've now gone up to 120 points. So well done.
Yeah. The answer is A. 123 days.
Do you know, all I could remember it was 100 odd. If you'd have said like 154, 174, 123, I'd have been lost. But I realised with the pattern that was the only one that made sense.
Yeah. I kind of gave it to you, didn't I?
There's kind of an obscure 47 reference, which has sort of been said already, but half of it hasn't. So when they talked about like the size of the universe that was left, and they said it was, 705 meters or something?
705, yeah.
And then Geordie, and I think this could be coincidental, but Geordie in a little bit, he says that it's shrinking at a rate of 15 meters per second.
All right, yeah.
And guess how long that would give her? 47 seconds.
47 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, there's a little bit of a goof in this last bit, kind of in relation to the graphics. But anyway, we'll go through that in a sec. So yeah, we're into Act 5. Here we are. All the digital screens for the Blu-ray version of this all been redone from scratch. So new graphics. So that's good. Inside the bubble, Beverly brings up the simulation of the universe at the science console and recognizes Wesley's experiment. She's like, "Oh dang, I'm the one in the bubble." And the computer then reports that the universe is shrinking in on the Enterprise, and life support will fail in 4 minutes and 17 seconds. But question number 6. We are all hoping the Traveller can get Beverly out of her bubble. But what episode did we first see the Traveller? What episode did the Traveller first appear? Is it A, The Last Outpost, B, Where No One Has Gone Before, C, Lonely Among Us, D, When 4 Fingers Are Enough, or E, none of the above?
I thought you had 3.
Yeah.
Is it like this?
Well, he's got these thumbs. I didn't know. I kind of
like
see those as
2 big fat fingers and a thumb.
Yeah, but that's 4 fingers in total, isn't it? And 2 thumbs.
But he doesn't. He has 2. This is a finger, and then this is a finger. They're like 2 big.
Yeah,
fat
but he has
fingers.
2 hands.
Oh, right. I see. 2, 4, 2, 4. I'm with you.
2, 4.
Sorry, takes me a while.
2 fingers is never enough.
Not when you're talking about whiskey, anyway.
No, that's right.
Sean says, "Help! I'm in a bubble and everything is flat."
Yeah.
Guessing another quote.
No doubt. Well, if you're inside the bubble, you don't get fizziness, do you? Because you'd have to be outside the bubbles to see fizziness. So if you're inside the bubble, everything would be flat.
Oh, apparently it's from the In-Betweeners.
Yeah.
I don't think I would know that. I might have watched a couple of episodes a long time ago, but not to the extent that I would know script.
Sadly, I've never seen it. I've never seen the In-Betweeners. Yeah, kind of missed that one.
Keep it to sci-fi, Sean.
Yeah.
Know your audience. Speaking of which, I might have mentioned this before, but your intro song really reminds me of the Babylon 5 one. You know, like when they sort of start the Shadow War. It's like got
Yeah.
that thing, dum dum. It's like, oh, it just really reminds me of that. It's very cool. Love it.
Yeah, that's why I picked it. It reminded me of Babylon 5
It's very
initially.
good.
I just figured, right, well, that's going to be our music from now on. Okay, so carrying on with the end of this act, the Traveller and Wesley begin to work on creating a gateway between the real world and the warp bubble, with both phasing in and out of real space and time. They have less than 4 minutes before the bubble collapse. Use the Force, Wesley. Use the Force.
You are not in a bubble.
Yeah, back in the bubble. And I say worryingly still on the bridge, because the last time she was like at the science station looking at the warp bubble superimposed on the Enterprise, it looked like the bubble was about to shrink and engulf the bridge. And yet we come back to her like, I don't know, a few minutes later, and she's still just sat about on the bridge going, ho hum.
Yeah, you're right. Like the picture is going like, woo,
Yeah.
and then it cuts to her face. Then it cuts back to the picture, and the picture's like, woo. It actually sets back,
Yeah.
and it's going so quickly that at that rate, like she'd be gone in about 5 seconds.
Yeah.
But I guess if they did it literally on the screen at the rate that it was actually shrinking, we wouldn't have been able to see it to the naked eye, so it just wouldn't have made sense to the audience.
Yeah.
Be like, what are we looking at? Why is that exciting? It's a static picture.
Yeah. So she's still on the bridge, worryingly. Beverly is figuring out that the Traveller uses thoughts to control the universe. And when she went to see Wes in engineering, she was thinking about Dr. Quace. You know, how eventually everyone you know in life you'll lose. She decides to click her heels together 3 times to see if that works. You never know. You never know. She asks the computer, how would you escape from a warp bubble? And the computer's like, through a blue swirly thing. She then works out that maybe she should go to engineering. She tries to get there via the turbo lift, but due to issues with the universe, it won't go that far.
Just want to shout out to Volodya. Thank you for joining us.
Hey, Volodya.
Stu Plum does the quintessential, she's a doctor, not a scientist.
Yeah. Okay.
And also, did you notice when she went into the turbo lift, what direction it went?
No, I didn't notice.
Because, you know, like you get the little light
Yeah.
flashy things at the side. Apparently it went up, which I don't think you can go up from the bridge, can you?
No, that's deck 1.
Yes. So
Can't
that
go
was
up
a
from there.
minor goof.
I
Goof
did-
girl strikes again.
Yeah, well done. I did not notice that one.
Yeah.
So anyway, she has to get out, something like deck 36, and she just makes it out of the turbo lift in time before it's swallowed by the nothing. In engineering, the Traveller and Wesley are fading in and out. What she needs is a luck dragon to come and take her to engineering. Whilst being chased by the nothing.
Yeah. Oh, what a great film.
When Beverly jumps through the vortex, just in time, she asks the Traveller if she has him to thank, but the Traveller's like, no, it was Wesley, and she hugs her son. She asks Picard how many people are on board, and he says there are 1,014, including your guest, Dr. Quace. Geordie asks her if there's anything wrong with that, but the doctor says no, that's the exact number there should be. And that was the end of the episode. She got out.
So I have a bunch of stuff to say. It's like so much of it was just in the last few minutes. So I've got all of this numbered 5 stuff. So one of them was she was attempting to outrun the warp field, which if it was moving at 15 meters a second means that she would have had to have been running more than 33 miles per hour. Impressive. I mean, I know she's a dancer, but she's clearly also a world championship sprinter. While she's like, when she appears in there and she obviously hugs Picard and then she turns around, her son's collapsed on the floor And she goes, "Oh, is it you I have to thank for this, traveler?" Like literally, a mother's instinct would be, "Oh my God, Wesley!" and like you would just run immediately to your son. But no, she just starts asking nice, calm questions.
She's kind of holding him up there. Look, she's just all like
I
really
know.
happy. Look at the poor lad. He just wants a bed.
I know. You'd be like, "Oh my God, let's get you to sick bay right now! Like emergency, emergency!" Because it's like a kid, right? Like
Yeah.
she'd be panicking. Yeah, I did that one. What else? There's many more. Oh, and we said about how the whole 50 meters per second means that they would have 47 seconds left. But Geordie says that means that it will swallow the ship in 4 odd minutes. I can't remember what he said. Something like 4.5 minutes.
Yes.
Which at that rate, if it was, then it means that the warp bubble would have been about 4 kilometers if they had 4.5 minutes and it was going at that rate. So yeah, they're saying it's around the ship. It'll take 4 minutes, which means it's 4 kilometers big, which means what? That's the size of the
It was 700 meters. It was 700 meters.
I know, but they're implying, yeah. So they got all their numbers a little bit.
It's all a bit muddled up.
Squiffy, yeah. We did that one. Yeah, and that's fine. I think that's most of them now.
Cool.
And then there's some stuff about reception, but we can talk about that when we're doing the scores.
Yeah. Question 6 then. What episode did we first see the Traveller? Was it The Last Outpost, Where No One Has Gone Before, Lonely Among Us, or When 4 Fingers Are Enough, or none of the above?
Mickey A, Sean D, me B, Stu Plum B, nothing from Kaz.
Well, I can tell you that the answer was B, Where No One Has Gone Before.
Yay!
Well, have you won this evening, Maz? Have you actually won one?
I have jointly won one.
Oh.
With Stu Plum. And to be fair, Kaz was up there with us until this last question where she didn't answer.
Oh.
Sorry, Kaz. But yeah, we got full maxo points for me and Stu Plum tonight with 420. Kaz was close on our heels with 300. Then Sean with 140, Mickey with 120.
Very cool. Well done for lots of scores, lots of answers came in, so that's pretty good. So well done, Maz. I'm proud of you, sister.
Yeah, I was rubbish last week, wasn't I?
You kind of were making up for it this week. You were like, I am gonna get these.
I did not know any last week.
Yeah. Sean says Babylon 5 was huge when he was a kid. It seemed wherever he went, all he heard was keep on moving was on the radio. I'm guessing that was...
I just love Babylon 5
so much. That was that Maroon number 5. Maroon 5.
Don't know, maybe. But I loved B5. Awesome.
Babylon 5 is awesome. Okay. Let me know if I got the reference. Was that Maroon 5? Did I get that right? I don't know. I probably don't. Okay. So yeah, let's know what you think of the scores.
Yes. Marks out of 10, everybody.
Marks out of 10.
Chat.
What have we had in Facebook then? In the Facebook post.
Let me take you through a journey.
I'm going to get my score.
So we had lots of comments and stuff, so I'd just like to share some of them with you. Paul Costello says, great Beverly episode. Carmit Azule says, it's a quote from Dr. Crusher, if there's nothing wrong with me, there must be something wrong with the universe. It's such a great quote.
Yeah.
Terry Ali says that his now 30-something kids grew up on Next Generation. And this episode, when she was younger, was her daughter's favorite. And he asked her that why when she was younger. And she said, because Beverly figured out how to rescue herself.
Aww.
So he thought that was quite a sweet takeaway for his little daughter at the time. We had questions about the blue versus green uniforms. Somebody said where Picard disappeared gave him goosebumps. Somebody was saying was Dalen Quace Wilfred Brimley, which actually it's another actor called Bill Irwin, but they look a lot like.
Who's Wilfred?
You look him up, you'll recognise him. He often wears glasses. He's got the same sort of moustache.
Brimley?
Yeah, Wilfred Brimley.
Oh, he does look like him.
Wilfred, yeah.
Wilfred Brimley.
Oh, Wilfred, yeah. Chris Darling says,
he's the guy from Cocoon.
Yeah,
he's been in a bunch of
yeah.
other things, but I remember him from the film Cocoon, where they get like alien eggs in a swimming pool.
It makes them all feel young.
Yeah.
It's a brilliant film. Chris Darling says, I don't remember this one. Ha ha ha. 10 out of 10 for the moustache, though. G. Redbers says 9 out of 10, brill episode. Kristen Dane says, I like the episodes that explore psychological issues. Gerard Kelly says 8 out of 10, one of my favorites. John Hung says, mainly I remember thinking how cool and unique a name Dalen Quace was. Kat Comser says, I like this one. It was different. The doctor got to solve it for once. And then some pictures, and one person said they gave it 1 out of 10. I said, ooh, why is that? He said, don't hate me, but I'm not a Dr. Crusher or Pulaski for that matter fan. Enjoyed the episode when Q gave her the Irish setter treatment. So I actually thought it was really interesting to get a different view, actually, because most people who post on Facebook just go, oh yeah, love it. So it was good to get another view, but that's cool.
He said Wilfred Brimley was only about 50 in Cocoon. He thinks the man was born about 40.
Well, that's a bit like Picard,
Me.
though, isn't it? It's a bit like Picard. I mean, he sort of was kind of bald and grey in his 40s and then just looked the same for about 20, 30 years.
I know. It's like I'm the same age of Picard is in this first season, I think, now. I think he was 40.
You got the same hairdo. What's
46. Yeah. I see Sean's got his scores in. Stupler, anyone else is on? Let us know your scores for this episode, because remember, your scores go towards the audience score. So let us know. Yeah, Will Wheaton is now older than Picard was in season 4.
Wow.
Is that true? I suppose it must be. Yeah, I guess it must be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy. Wow. That's amazing. Okay. Right.
So we're getting some questions in. So in terms of reception and stuff, the composer was saying this was a different kind of show. So they used different techniques with kind of dramatic pieces where the vortex sequences were, some string sections and things which were at really varying tempos. So interesting to sort of see how they did that, and they meshed a lot of that together to create what they call a swirling sound, which is just interesting to hear that from a visual perspective. And Rick Berman said that it was an interesting concept episode. He thought that the whole she's in a reality but she's not in a reality, she doesn't know where she is, or in a bubble, not a warp bubble, thought that maybe it was a little bit complex for some audience members who maybe don't get some of the technical things. Even when I was trying to sort of explain it to the people I was watching with, and I'm saying about warp bubbles, and they're like, what's a warp bubble? And I'm like, well, there's a warp drive. And so it gets into that sort of techno babble space, I guess. But at the same time, Cliff Bowl said, Gates did a really good job, being that it was a bottle show and it was, a whole sort of savings program for their budget.
It was a definite bottle show.
But for most of it, it was just her. She was on her own. And earlier, Sean was saying not only was it a bottle show, she even did all her own stunts. They didn't even have to pay for a stunt woman.
No, that's right.
So it definitely was a money-saving episode. But it's the fact that she's on her own a lot, and she does that thing where she's talking to herself, for the benefit of the audience. But it doesn't feel really forced. It's kind of like, I don't know. I think she does do it quite well. It does feel quite natural, and it's a really great journey that I think you go on with her, where it's like, where are they going? And you can feel it's like her frustration is palpable. I think it's it's a really good episode. And although it wasn't Cliff Bowl's favorite, they got a lot of mail and fan mail about this episode. So it's it's widely regarded as being quite a fan favorite. So Yeah, it's good.
She was trapped in a painting called Gallifrey Falls No More. Now, what do you make of that, eh? Painting called Gallifrey Falls No More. Well, there's got to be a reference to a Doctor Who episode. Was there a Doctor Who episode where they were stuck in paintings? There was.
I don't know.
No, there was. But I can't remember it. I can't pull it from my brain.
So it wasn't Maroon 5, it was a boy band 5.
It was the boy band 5, just 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've got a 7, and a 6 so far, right? Those are the only scores.
7,
I'm seeing.
7, and
7 and
6.
6.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, so your scores, Mazma Bob. Ready with your paddle?
Ready with my paddle.
You sighed then, and all your lights came on, or they seem to. Oh, it's because you moved away from your. Your the camera did a thing.
Sorry.
Yeah. There you
go. And Serenity gives it a 7, so we've got 3, 7, 7, 6, 7.
Karen just woke up. Hello, Karen. You nearly won tonight if you hadn't missed the last question.
Sean said it would have been a 6, but the Traveller is important in Star Trek lore. Fair enough.
Good point. You ready?
I'm ready.
I think my score is going to be controversial.
Is it really?
Yeah. Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Go.
I gave it a 9.
Wow.
I gave a big score.
High marks indeed.
Big score today. I like this episode.
Got an average of 7 in chat. Do you know, I was between an 8 and a 9. A 7 and an 8. I was on the fence. I'm like, I do like it. I kind of want to give it more than a 7, but then I think, is it 8 out of 10 compared to the fact that I gave Best of Both Worlds 2 9 out of 10? I'm like, is it at that level? I don't know. So it's difficult. I'm doing that whole weighing different episodes against each other thing again.
Oh, yeah. 9. Is that because of the number of fingers? No.
So yeah, you said it'd be controversial. Clearly, Sean's not happy.
Yeah, no, yeah. I don't know. I just like it when you have weird things going on the Enterprise, and like you see the Enterprise in weird situations, like everybody's gone.
He says it's because 9 is German for no.
No. Computer says 9. Yeah. Yeah.
So we've got an average of 7 in chat. We've got me with a 7 and you with a 9. You haven't got your spreadsheet up. Panic, share screen.
I better get.
Oh, we got a Google.
Hang on.
Google.
I'm getting there. Hang on a minute. Where is it? TNG scores. There we go. So first up,
Stu Plum and Mazamak Bob get a point.
There's 1 for Stu Plum. That puts him on 4. And Mazamak Bob, you're on 1.
So that puts me in joint silver place with Sean, Tavonna, and Andrew.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Oh, here we go. There you go.
Apparently it was an Only Fools and Horses reference.
What was?
Something about probably being trapped in a painting called Gallifrey Falls No More.
No, that wasn't.
Guessing that was what that was.
No, it's probably the German.
Uncle Albert tells a story about how he thought he was in love with a German woman with 9 fingers.
Yeah, the 9 fingers
finishes
thing.
by saying, "Oh, right." He finishes by saying, "I think she liked me when. I think she liked me. She never charged me as much as the others." Ah, I see. It was the number finger reference.
9. What did you give it? 7?
7.
And what was the
average from audience was 7.
7. There you go. I put it up to joint. Joint
equal with brother.
Yeah, joint
Brothers.
second best of the season so far, equaled with Brothers. That's Brothers.
Brother
isn't it?
is a plural. Yeah, singular.
Brothers. There we go. Sorry about that.
Controversial. I'm sure if Tavona was on, she'd be going, "No, Brothers is way better. It's got lore in it."
I know. It's our favourite episodes with Laura, isn't it?
Yeah.
We were.
But if you don't stay on, then you don't get a voice.
You can't have a voice. You can't, unfortunately. And there's no point in us talking about.
No.
We'll save that for next week then. If
Got a trailer for next time.
Oh, right. Well, first we've got to work out what's next week's episode.
I could tell you that momentarily.
But then you'd have to kill me.
Scroll up, press right.
Oh, they're all important lore.
Legacy.
Yeah. Legacy.
It's Legacy.
Legacy. TNG trailer. Features your sister, I think, Legacy.
Correct.
Do.
Next time on Star Trek: The Next Generation, a shocking discovery on a forgotten planet. A mysterious link to the past captivates the crew.
I'm Tasha's sister.
Is she a comrade in distress?
It's not how I intend to die.
Or a murderess in disguise?
Her loyalties are clearly divided, Captain.
Find out who the real Shara Yar is on Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Yeah, sorry, Madge, you wouldn't have heard that.
It was quiet, but I did hear it.
We managed to hear it. Oh, that's all right, yeah.
Yeah, Yar's sister, who isn't Linda Hamilton from The Terminator.
No, but she does look like her, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yes, Linda Hamilton from The Terminator is back next week for one night only. Yeah, episode number 6. Most of these episodes are referenced in Picard. Yeah, a lot of them are.
And we haven't done any, sort of spotting of those frequent back, what do you call them? Like Ensign, what's his face? Anyway, none of them were in it today.
No, none of them were in it. So there was no spotting of the I've forgotten his name. Oh, what's he called? Russell, Ensign Russell.
Yeah.
There was no Ensign Russell in this episode, so no one to spot.
Majram Stupler.
Majram. And that's it, really.
Sean says, ironically, Linda Hamilton is actually a twin.
Is she?
There were scenes in T2 where they used the twin for the
Oh, yes.
T1000 on mirror shots. Cool.
Yeah. Yes. I did know that, actually. Yeah. There's a surprising number of celebrities that are twins. Yeah. Okay. Well, I think that's us done then. With Tavona not on, we will join you next week for another TNG episode. Legacy. Yeah. And if you are not fed up with my face, then please feel free to come and join me tomorrow night over on my other channel, Montalban, for some Fortnite and some shenanigans. Might think of trying to do some crazy things tomorrow night because it's my 2-year anniversary of the Montalban channel this week.
Ooh.
Yesterday, the channel turned 2 years old. And, ironically, hit my target of 250 subs on the same day. So that was all good. That was all good. But yes, we'll see you tomorrow night for some Fortnite, or next week for some more TNG. Anything else?
Bye-bye, guys.
Bye.
No, nothing else from me.
Okay, see you then. Cheers.
Bye. Bye.